Well, guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with another series, which is going to be What if Naruto was the betrayed emperor of the West? Well, guys, I hope that you guys will enjoy this series. But before starting this video, I would like to apologize for not uploading in this time. It was just that I had a lot of assignments from, you can say, of studies as well as different things, so I had to take care of them, and I was trying my best to make some video, but sometime it got disrupted or things like that, so I got pretty frustrated after that. So I did not make some video for some time, so I would like to apologize, and hopefully I will be able to make it up to you guys by uploading this complete series today. But I will try my best, but there are no promises. you know Life is too short, can't make promises here and there. Well, as I was saying, but before starting this video, I would like to, you can say, make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video to come on, guys. If you guys are new to this channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot, as I want to reach 10k as quick as possible. I have already reached 8.5k and I'm really grateful for that. So hopefully I will be able to reach at least 9k at the end of this month. So please guys support me on this journey just like you have been supporting me previously. So without wasting any more of your time, let us start our video. And yeah, guys, the like goal for the next part is 250 likes and 200 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah, guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start our video. As this series is going to be What if Naruto was the betrayed emperor of the West. So I'm going to start my video from this scene. Silence, as everyone could see a lady groaning, as this lady was none other than Tsunade Senju, as she has an angry look on her face as she was sitting in the council room. As this is the room of Konoha, council room. This is after, you can say, 8 years of banishment, no, 7 years of banishment of one Uzumaki Naruto. As Tsunade was pretty angry as the council was making different demands. As one of the councilmen stood up, Lady Hokage, we have to do something, as we are at war. I do not even know that Eva as well as Kumo, Sand. As the councilman said, Lady Hokage, we have to do something, as Cloud Village, Rock, as well as Mist had made an alliance and they're fighting against us as Shikaku Nara speak up. Well, Lady Hokage, I've also heard that how Orochimaru is the one who has united these three nations in an alliance and want to fight against us. He wants to destroy us. We have to do something. As one of the councilmen said, well, we can make an alliance with Sand Village. I know that they have destroyed their alliance, but we can do something to get those alliance back. As Tsunade groaned at that, as she was, you can say, massaging her temple, as she said, well, I do not even believe how did this even happen to begin with. As she was pretty angry about the situation, as only word could be in the heads of everyone. As she said, Uzumaki Naruto, that damn demon. As Tsunade thought in her mind, it is all because of him. As now, one of the, you can say, civilian council stood up. Yeah, we can also get those alliance of Spring Country, Wave Country, and Tea Country, as well as Vegetable Country back, and then we will have more than enough power to destroy this alliance. And after all, Konoha is obviously the strongest village to begin with. There is no way Orochimaru and this weak village are anything against us. While most of the, you can say, civilian council agree with that, but Shinobi council, their arrogance started to get waver at that, as now they could feel and remember when they lost all of this alliance. Now flashback in the heads of everyone in that room. As now it was 7 years ago, as one Uzumaki Naruto was, you can say, carrying Sasuke Uchiha after the failed attempt of the, you can say, Sasuke becoming a rogue nin. As Uzumaki Naruto bring him back to the village so that he can save him from Orochimaru. As Naruto had a big smile on his face. Finally, he has completed his mission. Now, finally, with people will acknowledge him and see him how he is the hero. He has completed his promise. As he arrived and he had a smile on his face, carrying Sasuke on his back. As Naruto could see, you can say, his team members Sakura, Hinata, Ino, as well as Kakashi Sensei were waiting for him. As Naruto had a smile on his face as they noticed him and rushed towards him. As Naruto said, hey Sakura-chan, see, I completed my but before he could complete his sentence, a slap could be heard across all the place as Ino was nodding on that, while on the other hand, Hinata gasped as she was looking towards Sakura, as it was Sakura who you can say slapped Naruto. Naruto Baka, what have you done to Sasuke-kun? As she quickly grabbed Sasuke, not even noticing the big hole in the chest of Naruto, not one, two holes. As Naruto was in utter shock, he simply cannot believe it. How? How is that even possible? He saved Sasuke. He almost died in that mission. Naruto Baka, I told you to bring Sasuke back, not like this. Villagers were right. You're just a demon. As she grabbed Sasuke and started to run towards, you can say, the hospital as Ambu landed beside Naruto. As Naruto was looking down, as tears were coming to his eyes, he completed his mission. But what he was supposed to do? Sasuke was trying to leave to Orochimaru. He had to save him. He was his brother. But no, Sakura did not see that. But why? But before he could see anything more, as Ambu landed beside him, quickly you can say subduing him, not even caring about the bleeding which was all over. As Naruto looked around, hey, what are you guys doing? As he looked towards Kakashi, who was looking towards him disappointed, as if Naruto has done something or tried to get rogue, not Sasuke. As Naruto said, Kakashi sensei, help me. As Kakashi simply moved around and started to walk towards the hospital, but before Naruto could say anything, as in you can say chop to the neck, quickly knock him out, as several seals were put on Naruto's body, bringing him to the you can say dungeon, to the cell. As this was Naruto Uzumaki, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails Demon Fox. 13 years of hell he lived in this village known as Konoha. Now, as Naruto was in the dungeon, as after some time you can say many of his friends arrive, it appears that how the council has revealed his secret to Konoha, that how Naruto is the Jinchuriki and he's a demon in flesh. As all the rookie nines arrive saying that how he's a demon and a cheater, as Lee arrived telling him that how he only won against Neji because he cheated and used the power of the fox, as Neji arrived telling him that how fate has declared Naruto to be a loser and nothing more than that. As Sakura arrived saying that how he's a demon and how dare he to touch even Sasuke-kun, as the villagers were right, as all the people arrived. And after some time, as Naruto was looking down, seeing that how he lost almost all of his friends, and then a single person arrived, which Naruto's eyes you can say lit up. After you can say looking at the guy, as Naruto said, hey Parvisage, are you here to help me? Just tell them I was doing my mission. I did not have any choice. As Jiraiya simply shook his head. Naruto, I'm really disappointed in you. How can you harm a comrade? It is really, you can say, I thought you were different, but it seemed that you're nothing. To begin with, I'm really disappointed in you, Naruto. As Naruto, whole world started to shatter at that Uzumaki Naruto, who lived in the hell to begin with. As his wave, you can say, his will never shook. His will never wavered at anything. All the stabbing, burning, beating, and all the you can say starving never wavered his you can say will. But this is finally doing it. What you can say several years of torture could not. As he said, but we said you have to understand. As Jiraiya simply shook his head, Naruto, I hereby disown you from the Toad contract. You do not deserve such a contract. You have tried to you can say harm a comrade, and now you will pay for it. Summoning Jutsu as Fukasaku, a wife, as he said, Jiraiya boy, how can I help you? Jiraiya said, well, I want you to remove Naruto from the contract. As Naruto was looking towards the Toad, as the Toad nodded, as he pulled out the contract and simply slashed the name of Naruto, not even caring that Naruto was in front of him. After doing that, he simply reverse summoned himself back to the, you can say, Mount Miyaboku, as Jiraiya simply shook his head. Perhaps people are right. You are a demon. After saying that, he simply went off, as Naruto, you can say, finally on the verge of tears. And that was the night when Naruto cried after so many years of torture, burning. Naruto never cried, and he stopped crying after all of those things. But no, this finally broke him. But still, there was small hope, as the will of Naruto Uzumaki is not that weak. And finally, one person arrived, which finally you can say made the day for Naruto, as Naruto did not even look towards him, wondering that if it is one of his old friends who were supposed to be his friends, but now seeing that how he's a demon and nothing more than. As the person speak up, Naruto-kun, as Naruto's eyes widened for a moment as he looked up to see Hinata, who was shying, as looking towards him as Naruto said, Hinata, what are you doing here? Are you here to tell me that how much of a demon I actually am, huh? And it seems that you guys already know that I hold nine tails inside of me. So do whatever you want. Tell me how much of a demon I am and get this over with. As then Naruto was expecting something like demon or things like that, but he was in utter shock when he heard the voice. No, Naruto-kun, you're not a demon. And these people are the demons for doing things like this to you. As Naruto's eyes widened as he looked towards her. Hinata. As Hinata started to speak up and finally, after some time, telling him that how he's not a demon and he's a, you can say, great person and he's a hero for holding Ninetales back from attacking them and saving their life. As Naruto could not even believe it. Years, all of his so-called friends, his crush Sakura, telling him that how he's a demon. But this girl was telling him that how he's not a demon, but how? As he said, but why, Hinata? As tears were almost in the eyes of Naruto as Hinata shyly, you can say, Naruto-kun, I love you. As Naruto's eyes widened, Hinata, the most shy girl in the whole class, loved him. But why? As Hinata started to explain that how, when he saved her from the bullies, from that day, she really admired him and even looked towards him, observed him, more like stock. But still, as she observed him and see that how much of a great hero he actually is, as Naruto could not even believe his ears. As after hearing that he was really happy that there was someone in here which really loved him and admired him, accepted him. He was not a demon. The will of Naruto Uzumaki came back with full force. He does not even care that if his so-called friends do not believe in him, there was someone out there who accepted him, who loved him. So it does not matter. His old sensei, Kakashi Hatake, arrived, telling him that how much of a disappointment Naruto actually is to him, and he's disappointed of the teaching. He has disregarded all the teachings which Kakashi gave him to him. As Naruto thought at that moment, Kakashi only taught him tree walking and nothing more than that. And always, Naruto was the only person who did D-rank mission. Sakura just fawned over Sasuke and Sasuke was brooding all the time. And after that, Kakashi took Sasuke with him to do some, you can say, training. And Naruto simply went off after asking Kakashi many times for training, but he never gave him. And the most you can say thing was the person never even looked towards Naruto, just looking towards his book and insulting him over and over again. And then the person arrived, which Naruto had most hope for, the Hokage himself, the lady which he helped bring back to the village, Tsunade, which was like a grandmother to him. But then she smirked at him, telling him that how much of a demon he actually is. And it's finally time for this village to get rid of the demon. As Naruto could not even believe his ears, as all the persons has turned their back on him. But why? He helped all of them. He saved their lives in the invasion of sand. But no, they put their backs on him. As these were the thoughts of Naruto. But now, after hearing this girl saying that how she loved him, Naruto will finally came back and now he will do anything for her. Now, as Ambu landed as Anko Mitarashi arrived, well kid, it seemed that time for you to spill your secrets has finally arrived, huh? As Naruto looked towards her, Anko. As you can say Naruto's demeanor has changed a little, but not that much. But still, there was a bit of seriousness. The person who knew the reality of this world, the person who knew that always be wary of your so-called comrades, were in his eyes. The reality finally sink in. The beatings, all of those stabbing, burning, the reality of the world never, you can say, was so clear to Naruto's eyes that it was now. As Anko said, well kid, it seemed that you got a bit of confidence, but I wonder from where, huh? As Naruto looked towards her, what are you doing here? As Anko said, but of course, I'm here to torture you and get all the secrets out of you, my little kiddo. As Naruto's eyes widened, as he said, but why? You're always hated, just like me in the village. Why do you want to do this to me? You know that I did not do anything wrong. I did my mission. As Anko laughed a little, but then a sad expression came to her eyes for a moment as he said, well kid, you know that I am hated by the village. You do not have any life left anymore, but by torturing you and getting the information out of you, I will be accepted back into the village. So, nothing personal, it is just for my own gain. H smirked at that and then finally started to torture Naruto for 2 days straight as Naruto tried his best to get his will But his will never changed, but the pain and torture was unbearable. After 2 days of torture, as all the Konoha knew that Anko was the one who was torturing the demon, so they finally started to accept her. Well, that's a good thing for her at least. But still, a betrayal is still a betrayal, no matter what for. As now, as Naruto was standing in front of the council, as though they were expecting him broken and things like that after Anko's torture, though they could easily see, you can say, scar marks and different type of things. He is missing 5 nails in his finger, as well as you can say several other injuries on his body. But no, he was not looking towards them with hope or broken in his eyes, but a will of determination which angered most of the people there, as especially the civilian council member who were expecting the demon to cry and beg for mercy. As Tsunade also noticed that as she grated her teeth. Alright, Uzumaki Naruto, you know that? Why are you here? As Naruto looked towards her for completing my mission and being loyal to this mission, to this village. As then most of the people scoffed and started to scream the demon and things like that. As then you can say Shibuya Barame speak out. Well, you're here for using over excessive force on a comrade and injuring him pretty much. As Naruto looked towards him. Well, so this is the logic of Aburame I have heard so much about, huh? Do you honestly believe in this crap of yours, Naruto? As he said, as then Tsunade said, shut up, you damn demon! You have heard the lost Uchiha, and by using excessive force on a comrade, we, the council, has finally determined that you're a danger to this village, and hereby I, as the Godame Hokage, banish you from Konoha. You will never step a foot into Konoha, and if you do, you will be killed off. As she smirked at that, now ready to see the broken expression on the face of Naruto, ready to see this demon who took away her daughter, as she always thought of, you can say, Kushina as her own daughter. She never had. This demon took her away from her. And same was the thing was Jiraiya. Jiraiya always thought Minato as his son, but this demon has took Minato away from him, and he will never accept it. As Naruto looked towards her, so let me get this straight. You're banishing me for bringing back a traitor who wanted to go to your ex-teammate so that he can have power, wanted to become a traitor, and who wanted to kill me. And after I bring him back, you want to banish me? Don't kid yourself, Tsunade. Tsunade was a bit surprised. She thought that the demon will finally be broken after all of these days of torture and things like that, wondering if Anko really tortured him or not. But then she noticed, you can say, scar marks and different signs of torture, so she was not, you can say, she agreed with that. Naruto was tortured, definitely. But why? Why his will is not broken? The demon should be suffering and should be begging them to not do this to him. They have finally broken his dream, his will. Why it is not broken? As she grated her teeth on that, as Tsunade said, silence, you damn demon. And our decision is final. As Naruto said, don't kid yourself. You just want to get rid of me because I hold this fox inside of me, and I'm holding him back from ripping all of you apart, right? As you ungrateful bastards. As most of the people were looking towards Naruto in pure anger, while the shinobi side knew that that was true. If Naruto was not there for the sealing, then the fox would have killed them, but the loss of their loved ones was way too great than some petty logic in their eyes. And finally, most of the shinobi council said, well, demon, we have finally decided that you're a danger to this village, and for attacking Lost Uchiha and using excessive force, hereby you are banished from Konoha, and you have only 1 hour to pack your things and get lost. As Naruto looked towards them, alright then, I'll be leaving this hellhole. Who wants to stay on this shitty village to begin with? After saying that, you can say, kicked the door open and Sartito went off, as the most of the council was in pure anger, as the elders wanted the orders so that the, you can say, hunter ninjas could catch up to Naruto and kill him off. After all, he's a danger to this village. As Tsunade smirked at that, yeah, I will definitely do that. As Tsunade was smirking inwardly, while on the other hand Naruto was finally in his apartment packing his things up, which were not that much. It appears that after the news was released that how the demon is finally going to get banished from Konoha, they finally went into his apartment and burned the thing down. As Naruto did not get a lot of things from there because most of them were burned, but he, you can say, did get one suit that was already burnt, so he did not care about it whatsoever. Only you can say two people cared about Naruto. Those were none other than Ichirako Ramen guy. But come on, guys, they are always good in most of the stories to begin with. It is always, you can say, the ratio of 98 to 2. As Ichiraka Ramen guy, as Naruto was finally going to that place hoping that they will not hate him. As Naruto finally arrived there, as Ryuichi looked towards Naruto, Naruto-san, so you finally released from the dungeon. I'm really sorry, Naruto, what I heard. As Naruto was a bit relieved after saying that they do not hate him or anything like that. As Ayame said, Naruto-kun, as she grabbed Naruto in a big hug, as Naruto was a bit happy. After all, the girl which he looked up to see like a big sister was not hating him or anything like that. As he smiled at her as she said, I'm so sorry, Naruto. I really do not know what to say. I I cannot believe that the Hokage and the council will do this to you. As Naruto simply shook his head. Well, it's nothing. Ayame, don't worry about it. It had to happen sometime. It's a good thing that I have finally able to see their true faces. They were making me a fool. As he started to cry on that, but then Ayame said, don't worry, Naruto. You can have as much ramen as you can, and we will do. You can say pack some for you as well. As Naruto smiled at that, yeah, Yami, that would be great. As Tuichi said, alright my boy, eat as much as you want. As most of the villagers did not like the demon was getting feed up, but they cannot do anything. They knew that he will be leaving after 1 hour. After that demon will leave, they will make the lives of these ramen guy a living hell in this village, just like they did to that demon at the smoke on that memory. Good times when they were to, you can say, beat him, torture him, burn him, and the Hokage allowed it. After all, there was the time of third Hokage. Ambus were just there so that the demon will not die. As they remembered that time, but the demon did not need to know, right? After all, that was the Lord Third. As they simply shook their head. Great Hokage, as a thought in their mind. Well, on the other hand, Naruto finally eat up and finally left. As Naruto was, you can say, almost on the timer, you can say, place of Valley of the End where the fight happened. Then suddenly several Ambu landed beside Naruto as I said, alright demon, it's finally time for you to die. Yes, Naruto looked back at them. So the old hag has sent you here to kill me off, right? As the Ambu smirk inside their mask. But of course, a demon like you cannot be allowed to live. We are going to kill you off right here and right now. After all, a demon like you do not deserve to live. At the smirk on that, as Naruto said, as Naruto smirk, which put, you can say, most of the Ambu there. As then Naruto said, then it's a good thing I'm not here, right? As Ambu's eyes widened, as Naruto poof away, as the Ambus, most of the Ambus were literally shocked. They saw him leaving, you can say, the village, and they were on his trail from back then. But Naruto Uzumaki is not known to be unpredictable for nothing. The kid who was able to, you can say, paint all the Ambus uniform into orange when he was only at the age of 8, able to sneak into, you can say, Ambu headquarters as well as able to paint their uniform into orange was really a stealthy ninja. As they said, scatter, find him, we have to kill that demon. As Ambus nodded and went off, while on the other hand Naruto was already out of way. He has finally decided to leave from this place. And he smirked at that as he bring out, as he looked towards the small scroll. Naruto was finally able to, you can say, sneak into, you can say, Hokage's vault once again, as well as able to, you can say, raid the whole Hokage vault, able to, you can say, get the scroll of sealing and many other scrolls, many other techniques, and especially one scroll, as which had, you can say, Uzumaki symbol on him, and surprisingly enough, which had the name Naruto Uzumaki written on it, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, which confuses Naruto because he did not knew the full name of 4th Hokage, but he simply shook his head, grabbing it, and went off. Yes, right now he has not read it. As Naruto finally leave the elemental nation, the east, finally going for a new place, which he heard from, you can say, Ninetales. After Ninetales saw that how much Naruto got tortured as well as beating and all those different type of things because of him, as he finally got a bit of pity for Naruto and made a deal with him. He will help him to, you can say, escape from this village, and finally one day he will be strong enough to take his revenge from this village, as Naruto was finally determined on that. He will take revenge on that hellhole and, you can say, obliterate it from the face of this earth. After all, Konoha known to call himself the strongest village always on the faces of other villages. He will make Konoha the weakest village. First, he will destroy their pride, their arrogance, and then finally, he will destroy their lives. And he will make their lives a living hell, just like they made his life. As he grated his teeth on that. And finally, arrive, you can say, to the west. Now, flashback end as Tsunade was, as well as the council, was pretty angry about the situation that the Ambus were not able to kill off the demon. Secretly, Danzo also sent his root Ambu so that they can capture him, so that he can make him into a perfect weapon for Konoha. Well, not for Konoha, for him, of course, but still, as I was saying, as the council was pretty angry as they were sending hunter nins after hunter nins. Even Jiraiya started to search for Naruto, though he had a bit of, you can say, remorse in his heart. After all, that was the son of Minato, and being a seal master, he knew that Naruto was not the Nine Tails himself, but still, he cannot look towards the kid, the kid which was the cause of the death of his son. Does not matter if that kid was a son of his so-called, you can say, surrogate son, but still, he agreed with Third Hokage for making Naruto a living weapon all those years ago. When Minato died, Third Hokage had a grand plan so that they can sabotage his growth and one day be able to make him into a weapon. But when Naruto defeated Neji and then after defeating Sasuke, Council knew that Naruto could not be controlled, and their, you can say, attempt to make him a weapon, make him weak, were not enough, as Naruto's will was really something. And finally, they decided to put him a threat and finally eliminate him, since a weapon which you cannot control is more dangerous, right? As they wanted to kill him, though Jiraiya had a bit of remorse, but still, he still had anger, all that anger in his heart for Naruto. But still, which was, you can say, wavering a little, but not that much. While on the other hand, Tsunade was confirmed that Naruto was the main cause of the death of Kushina. If he was not born, the seal would have not get weak, and Nine Tails would have not, you can say, escaped. After, on top of that, Naruto is hosting the Nine Tails, that demon, which makes Naruto a demon in her eyes as well. She hardly hold back when Naruto first challenged her, and she was about to, you can say, blow his head off, but Jiraiya told her that Naruto is a weapon to the village and she is not going to kill him, and told her the grand plan, which was the main reason Tsunade accepted the position of Hokage, so that she can make the life of Naruto a living hell, on the name of justice, of course. Now, flashback ends as Tsunade gritted her teeth. It is all because of that damn demon, as she remembered the day when the news of Naruto's, you can say, banishment were spread across the sea, across all the elemental nations, as it was first Suna, after 2 years, you can say, Suna, a wife, after recovering all of their losses, as Jiraiya literally tore apart the treaty which was between them, as Tsunade as well as the council went under shock when the Kazekage arrived there along with his guards, telling him that how if a single shinobi of Konoha were to step into the boundary of the wind country of the sand, they are going to get executed publicly, and they do not, you can say, approve of the village who, you can say, reward traitors as well as banish heroes. While on the other hand, Sasuke Uchiha, who was given this seat after, you can say, his failed attempt, so that they can, you can say, keep him into the village, saying that how he has power in the village. And Sasuke was furious and wanted to kill Gaara, telling him that how he's an elite, he's an Uchiha elite, and Gaara is nothing compared to him. And Gaara was about to crush him by sand, and that was literally true. But he finally left after, you can say, breaking their treaty, and Tsunade was in utter shock. But the council man said how the stand is just vague, especially the civilian council saying that how there's nothing compared to him. As Tsunade wanted to, you can say, make another treaty with some other, you can say, well, Eva as well as the Stone Village, Cloud Village were out of way, though they can make a treaty with Mist Village, but still, they were still at the civil war. So Tsunade cannot, you can say, approach her. While on the other hand, she was happy and did not care about Sand Village after all. Konoha was the strongest, which was in the eyes of Shinobi Council as well as all the civilian council. And even Tsunade agreed with that, how Konoha is the strongest village and they do not need any allies. But how wrong she was. The next day, the daimyo of, you can say, the supreme country arrived, and Jiraiya was also there. After all, he has also signed a Ichiche Paradise movie with her. While on that hand, she slapped Jiraiya on the face and tearing apart the treaty, saying that how Naruto was the reason she took the seat as the daimyo of the, you can say, supreme country, and how she's going to cut all ties with Konoha. Even a single shinobi were to step into the boundaries of supreme country, they are going to get executed publicly. Which literally shook, you can say, whole Konoha supreme country was known for their technology, and they needed that technology. And after the snow country, after, you can say, Taki, after vegetable country, tea country, as Tsunade as well as council were in literally utter shock. They lost all of their allies which they made in these years of Third Hokage time. Even the previous allies were wary. They lost almost 50% of their customers, and you can say of the missions, as most of them started to send their mission to Sand Country after hearing that how Sand has, you can say, tore apart the treaty after Konoha has banished a hero so that they can keep a traitor, as most of the, you can say, people of small countries of different countries were wary of, you can say, Konoha. It is actually the small countries which make business for other countries. Just think about it. The stone village is not going to send mission to Konoha, right? It is only the small villages which send missions to the other major countries so that they can make profit out of it. As Konoha has lost 50% of its, you can say, clients, while on the other hand, things could not have gotten worse. But still, Konoha believes that they are the strongest and they do not need anything. But what's the strength for if you cannot get any clients, right? As finally, Tsunade was there as the door was slammed open as they were doing about some mission and things like that. Oh, they wanted to discuss some new treaty they can actually make, but it was Fire Daniel as the, you can say, council failed at that, as Fire Daniel was literally angry, fuming in pure utter rage as he said, "You damn idiots, because of you I have lost over 70% of my trades business with other countries, and I want an explanation now." As most, you can say, council pale at that. Astronauts as well as Danzo and Elders explain that how they have just banished the demon who killed off all of those people. As Fire Daniel was pretty angry as he told him that how he does not care if that kid was a demon or not. If because of him this country was prospering, then he should have stayed here and they should not have banished him. As he almost, you can say, he cut off 30% of the budget of Konoha, putting them into even worse state. Yes, while on the other hand, civilian council was the one who got affected mostly as their prices got low and low. They cannot get anything, you can say, from other countries. The prices of living, you can say, also increases in Konoha. The thing you can buy in 20 Ryu, you have to buy it now, you can say, 120 Ryu, almost, you can say, 100% increase. Well, that is great actually. 10% increase in, you can say, life, as all the Konoha started to suffer, as you can say the living rate really decreases in Konoha, as Tsunade as well as the elders and the Shinobi Council still refuses to believe that it was their mistake, always putting it on Naruto. Now flashback ends, as now it is the present time, as Tsunade was greeting her Tate. We have to do something, we have to get an alliance, right? As then, you can say, Hiyashi Hyuga smirked and said, "Well, Lady Hokage, I have a proposal if you want to accept it." As then Tsunade looked towards her. "What do you want, Hyuga?" As Hiyashi said, "Well, I have a plan. We can send, you can say, an alliance with the West Empire." As at this, most of the Shinobi Council, you can say, as well as the civilian, was silent. As then Shikaku Nara speak up, "The West. I have heard so much about it. I have heard that a man of, you can say, a young man has united the West after ending a, you can say, a war which was going on from the era of the Sage of Six Paths. As he has ended a war going on for so long, and he also united, you can say, all the West. I have heard that the West is 10 times larger than whole East, known as the Elemental Nation." As at that, there was silence in the whole room, As then the shout started to, you can say, appear from the side of the civilian council. How they have to make an alliance so that once again they can get all the, you can say, things from west, and then they will be the strongest once again, and they will be able to conquer other nations. And once they are done with west, they will also conquer it, as Danzo already started to make, you can say, plans how he can control the West Emperor, and then he will be the ruler of Empire, as he was already making plans in his head. While on the other hand, Tsunade also liked the idea, as he said, alright, first I would like to get some more information about the West. Alright, Jiraiya. As Jiraiya came out of the shadows, what do you want, Hime? As Tsunade said, well, I want you to go to West and get information about this Emperor and about the West, what they can offer us, so that we can get the alliance with the West, you know, the protocol, right? And as well as you can get some secrets of the West as well, their weakness, so that we can use it against them in the future as well. As she smirked at the thought, thinking that she's the great Hokage. As Jiraiya also nodded at that, that would be great, Hime. I was trying my best to get information on West, but across the sea, it is a bit difficult. As Tsunade nodded at that, alright Jiraiya, you have your orders, bring the information on the West. Jiraiya only nodded at that, as he simply went off. As one of the civilian councils speak up, it is all because of that damn demon. He should have died all those years ago. I do not know where he even went off. Lady Hokage, did you send the 100 ninjas after him? Tsunade sighed. In all of these 7 years, she was sending 100 ninjas after 100 ninjas, you can say, against him, so that they can take him down. But no, as he was always, you can say, they never got any information about him, nothing. As she even tried to put him into the bingo book, but then the Fire Daniel put his foot onto that, telling her that they have already lost so much customers and he has lost 70%, damn it, 70% of his trade contracts with other nations, thinking that how the Fire Nation is backstabbing and they do not want to make any more trouble for themselves. The 30% client with which they have left, they cannot lose them by putting the kid into, you can say, into the bingo book. The thing spread like wildfire after, you can say, most of the people started to spread stories that how Naruto completed his mission, but then they have, you can say, given everything to the Uchiha, taking it away from him, as well as his home was burnt. There were some travelers as well as who wanted to eat something from Ichiraku ramen, as the story started to begin from that and spread across all the elemental nations, as this was really a bad image for Konoha. While on the other hand, Kakashi started to train Sasuke even more and more so that he cannot leave Konoha. But still, Sasuke started to get arrogant, even more arrogant day by day, and her personal, you can say, sharing bitch. Sorry, not, well, ignore the word, but still, who cares? Who cares about Sakura, right? As they also send, you can say, send away. Now let us cut back to Jiraiya. As Jiraiya has, after 1 week of travel, he was finally able to, you can say, arrive to the west. As he said, alright, I have to get some information. As he started to get, you can say, move around the place, but he was in utter surprise when suddenly a pressure was fell onto his shoulder, and then suddenly several people arrived out of nowhere, as Jiraiya didn't even sense them, as one of them put a hand to his chest, and then several, you can say, seals started to appear, and Jiraiya said, what? Paralysis seal? As he was already on the ground, as several guards were grabbing him and pull him towards, you can say, the main castle. As Jiraiya was not a shock. He was one of the legendary Sonins. He was the best, you can say, to spy all around the elemental nations, and he was never captured. But the moment he entered into the city, but how is that even possible? There was some, you can say, barrier which detected him? But how? There are so many travelers coming here. It should not be possible to detect him. As he was thinking all those possibilities, but he cannot even move. As then finally, you can say, Jiraiya was put into the dungeon, and Jiraiya was asking different type of questions, why they are doing this to him, and how he's a legendary Sanin from Konoha and he should be given respect or things like that, but they did not even care and left off, as Jiraiya was wondering what is actually going on. Now let us cut back to a lone figure, and which had the eyes with ripple in them, as the purple eyes, as this person was none, you can say, sitting on a throne, as all around the room were circular tables, and sitting behind them were councilman of the empire, known as the Empire of West. As then God arrived, well, Lord Emperor, as he kneeled beside Naruto, as Naruto said, this emperor, as now you can see the face of the emperor. This emperor has ripple pattern eyes, known as the Rinnegan. Yes, in the series, Naruto do have the Rinnegan, as well as you can say blonde hairs, long blonde hair, just like his father. And he looked towards him. So give me the report. As he said, well, of course, Lord Emperor. At the start, as I said, well, Jiraiya the Sanins from Konoha has arrived and we have already captured him, put him into the dungeon. As Naruto smirk at that, well guys, you guys have already figured out that Naruto is the Emperor. As Naruto smirk at that, as I said, so you have finally caught him, huh? Well, that's great. As Naruto smirked at that, as he said, you know the person who are not to be informed, right? As he simply nodded at that, as then one of the councilmen stood up. Well, Lord Emperor, so what are you going to do with the Jiraiya Torch? He has clearly entered into our nation without our permission. He is a spy. As Naruto nodded at that, well, of course I know about that old Toad. We will deal with him personally. Alright, let him get rot for a moment. You did put the chakra suppressing seals, right? As he simply nodded at that. Well, of course, I have put it, Lord Uzumaki, as this person had red hair, all, and as well as you can say the traditional, you can say Uzumaki traits as you look towards him. But of course, my emperor, as not to smirk at that, not to do remember the day when he arrived into the west, as imagine his surprise when he became a, you can say, a war lord, and after you can say conquering almost half of the, you can say, empire, he met with his own family, his Uzumaki clan, as he was literally surprised when he heard that how his mother Uzumaki Kushina told them that how they cannot trust Konoha or in the rule of Third Hokage, and they were so right. As Uzumaki's simply, you can say, left the Whirlpool village after they were informed that how Konoha has leaked the information and how she cannot do anything about it, as all the four villages are going to attack them. So they made the seals, and when imagine, you can say Konoha thought that these were the Uzumakis laid down dead, but in reality, these were the shinobis who attacked, you can say, Whirlpool village, and how they made a seal which teleported them far away from the elemental nation so that they can regroup and get stronger, so that they can take their revenge on Konoha for betraying them, for backstabbing them. So, you can say, they simply went away into the west, as Naruto was really happy when he realized that how he has a family. As flashback ends, as Naruto is smirk at that, as he said, alright, now 3 days later, as Naruto simply went off to his apartment and started, you can say, into his, you can say, room and started to rest. After some time, the door snapped open. That Tabane Naruto, as well, sorry, not the Datmane, I can't speak that. As Naruto said, what do you want, mom? As Naruto looked up to see, as it was Kushina Uzumaki. As Naruto smiled at that, as she had a, you can say, red hair girl with in her arm, only 1 year old. As Naruto said, bring my sister to me. As Kushina smiled at that, but of course, Narumi wanted to, you can say, play with her older brother, right? Right, Narumi? As she giggled at that, as Naruto simply picked her up and started, you can say, play with her. As then another person stepped into the room. Hey Naruto, what's up? As Naruto looked back to see his father, as Minato Namikaze. As Naruto came to realize that flashback, as after activating the Rinnegan, which was a 1,000-year surprise for even Kurama, but then he finally came to the conclusion that how, seeing that Uzumakis are the only direct descendants of the Sage of Six Paths, while on the other hand, Senju, as well as, you can say, the Uchiha clan were only trained by the, you can say, the daughter of the Sage of Six Paths, and she shared some of her chakra with both of them, giving them a bit of mutation. As Indra, who was a blind man, when, you can say, the first Uzumaki, the daughter of Sage of Six Paths, shared her chakra into the eyes of Indra, he activated the Sharingan, while on the other hand, Ashura was a weak guy who had a, you can say, health problem from the childhood. When she healed him, as he gained, you can say, the strong body and strong chakra, but in the end, both of them betrayed her and started, you can say, try to take over her, but she easily defeated both of them with the Rinnegan power she possessed, as well as her own chakra far surpasses both Indra and Ashura, who are both brothers. As but then both of them started to spread rumors that how they are the true descendants of the Sage of Six Paths, and that was, you can say, the true story of the Sage of Six Paths and his descendant. But since Uzumakis are the only true descendants of the Sage of Six Paths, so Naruto possessed the Rinnegan from that. As flashback, as Naruto was surprised as when he activated his Rinnegan, he was able to access a part of his mind which he never thought he could. Even Kurama was a bit surprised, intrigued about it. He did not know what was there, as well as both Kurama as well as Naruto went into that room. Imagine both of their surprise when two person lie unconscious in that place. As Naruto was surprised, even Kurama asked Warden and he said, Naruto, that is, as Naruto completed his sentence, for Tokage, right? Yeah, my father, right? As Kurama nodded at that, the scroll which Naruto got from, you can say, the Hokage ward, he was able to get the information that how he is the son of fourth Hokage as well as Kushina Uzumaki, and they have read it and told him that how they are both going to sacrifice their lives so that they can protect Konoha as well as Naruto. As Naruto was a bit angry at Minato, but still, he accepted him nonetheless, as Kurama told him that they must have used, you can say, the remaining of their chakra, and they must have sealed their bodies as well as their chakra into Naruto's own body and sealed so that they can strengthen it even further. And how both of them lies here since unconscious, their body is being fed with Kurama's chakra and Naruto's own. As Naruto was surprised, literally shocked, his parents were with him all of this time, but he doubted that both of them has seen his life. As Kurama agreed with that, with the ability of the Rinnegan, he was able to break that part of the seal. After all, he has already, you can say, released Kurama from his body as well after that. So, he also released both Minato and Kushina as they woken up after some time. As Naruto was really happy, Minato asked him why they are not in Konoha, as Naruto started to explain his life, as Minato listened to it and did not say anything, while on the other hand Kushina was really sad about it. Even Minato said how he's sorry and they should not have done things like that, but Naruto could tell that Minato did not believe him completely, and he was right. But still, Minato was denied any, saying that how he cannot go back in Konoha. Minato realized that he has lost almost 50% of his chakra. He has only the chakra level of an elite Chunin, nothing more than that. While on the other hand, Kushina, since she was a Jinchuriki, she still have, you can say, a cage level chakra at least. As after losing half of her chakra, as they started to settle down here, as Naruto told him that how this is their home. Though Minato was not that happy, but still, he accepted that. After all, he has a family here and he cannot leave them. Though Minato was not that happy that they are not no longer in Konoha, he do not hate Naruto. He do not hate Naruto or anything like that. He still love him. After all, he is his son, right? As while on the other hand, Kushina was really sad. Now, flashback ends as Naruto had hit it as then now as flashback. Now let us go to Kushina as council room as Tsunade as the council member were there as Tsunade's grumble which that damn old told he should be here back with the information, or at least he should have sent some scroll and toads to inform us. As one of the, you can say, shinobi council said, do you think Lady Tsunade, Lord Jiraiya were captured? As Tsunade grumbled at that, how the lazy toad and she do not care about him whatsoever. Yes, then Chicago said, well, I don't think so. He would be captured. After all, he is our spy master, and there is no one in the whole elemental nations who ever captured him spying on their village. After all, we are the strongest, right? As Chicago Nara smirked at that. While on the other hand, most of the, you can say, Shinobi Council already started to realize that they have lost so much of their power. But still, they believe that they're the strongest village out of all the, you can say, villages. Huh, how wrong they actually are. Well, you know, the arrogance. Now, let us go back. As I was saying, as Tsunade was also wondering if Jiraiya was actually captured, but she did not care. But still, he was their spy master, so he should be here at the time of war. They need him there, and it is his duty. As now, let us get back to Jiraiya, who was not given anything whatsoever in all of this time, and then he was grabbed from the neck and then slammed into the, you can say, outside of the chamber, slamming him into the wall. As you can say, the god finally grabbed him and started to pull him there. As Jiraiya did not have much energy left in him, but still he was given a bit of chakra so that he can still move around, but still cannot perform any technique whatsoever. As he said, where are you going to take me? Tell me already, damn it! As God said, shut up, you damn old toad. How dare you to step into our empire without our permission, you damn spy. You're going to pay for it. As Jiraiya paled at that, he was about to make some excuse as one of them said, don't bother. You're not allowed here. You came here on wrong passport. And saying that, did you honestly believe that we will not able to figure out who you actually are, Jiraiya the toads? It doesn't matter, you filthy toad. As Jiraiya was about to say that, how he's so famous and all. But he was cut off, as then the god simply pull him, put his head down into the ground, and then bring him into the chamber. As Jiraiya was feeling pretty nervous, as he was here to get some information on the emperor so they can use it in the negotiations as well as get some secrets. Though he was able to came here briefly, but he saw that how people there already, you can say, most of the even the, you can say, civilians knew how to use chakra. As a matter of fact, they have put chakra into their daily lives so that they can make it common practice as a way to, you can say, connect with the nature as well as Jirai was pretty surprised the living of this place, but his surprise was cut short when he was captured. But still, as then one of the gods kneel as he said, well, Lord Emperor, we are bring the Jiraiya of the Toads here, the person who was spying on our nation and wanted to get secrets from it. As Jiraiya's eyes widened and said, no, I was not here. I was just here because of curiosity. I wanted to know what is going on in the West. Yeah, that's all. As the council member, one of the council members stood up. Do you honestly believe that? We will believe you, Jiraiya of the Toads. We know about your reputation, about peeking into the, you can say, women's as well as hot springs, as well as being a spy for Konoha. And we already know the information that how Konoha is at the war with other three great villages and he has no allies. So you must be here to get some information on us so that you can use it to blackmail us, didn't you, Jiraiya of the Sonin? Jiraiya's eyes widened as his face got pale, wondering if there are some spies in Konoha who are leaking this information. But no, it should not be possible, as he was trying to look towards the Emperor, but you can say the sun was behind the windows on of the throne of the Emperor, so he could not clearly see the face, but his eyes widened for a moment when he looked into the Rinnegan, which was staring down into his soul, as one word came to his mind, Nagato? But before he could say anything, his face was simply slammed into the ground so harshly, almost made a small crater there. You will not look up to our Emperor, as Jiraiya grumbled at that. Wait a minute, I might know your Emperor. Hey, Nakato, is that you? As Naruto simply chuckled at that. Jiraiya of the Sonin. It has been some while. As Jiraiya for a moment thought it was Nagato, but no, that voice. He have heard it, but where? As then it clicked into his voice, no, 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 no. As those were the thoughts of Jiraiya, as Naruto simply waved his hand, as Jiraiya could feel the hand which was putting his face to the ground lifted up, as Jiraiya finally looked up to see, praying in his mind with all of his heart and will, not it be him, not it be him. As he looked up to see, as his eyes widened, as his heart for a moment stopped, sitting on the throne of the most, you can say, the strongest empire of the whole world, the empire of the West, which is 10 times bigger than all the elemental nations combined, which consist of all the 5 great nations and other small nations, 10 times of that. As Jiraiya, you can say, face completely got pale. Sitting on the throne of the empire was the Emperor Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, looking down at him. As Jiraiya pale at that, Naruto, is that you? As Naruto simply chuckled at that. It has been some time, Godfather. As Jiraiya pale at that even further. As now scene change. As Tsunade grumbled at that, it was another meeting. She was trying to make contact. She even made contacts with the doors, but they were telling that how something was stopping them to resummon, you can say, Jiraiya. back into the Mount Miyaboko, and it seemed that he was captured. Must be. Astronaut grumbled at that. This was not the condition. They cannot afford a war with the Empire at the moment. Konoha is strongest. There is no, you can say, argument against it. But still, they cannot take on the Empire at the moment. Once they get all of their strength back, they will conquer the Empire. Out of, you can say, there is nothing stopping them. After all, Konoha has the rightful place as the strongest village, and the Fire Nation deserve to conquer that, as Sasuke had firm belief that he should be the emperor, not some wannabe. Now, Tsunade, you can say, mumble at that, as then Shikaku said, well, Lady Tsunade, we can do something about it. If Jiraiya the Sannin is captured, then we can say that how he has become a missing nin, and you can say, put him into the, you can say, missing nin, and then say that how he defected from our village, and we will say that how we have nothing to do with him. At this, most of the people were looking towards, you can say, the person who was speaking, as it was Danzo, as she, you can say, Shikaku said, are you sure about it, Lord Danzo? You know that Jiraiya is our spy master. As Danzo simply shook his head, we do not care if he is a spy master or not. He was for Konoha, and if he's putting Konoha in threat, then we have to do something about it. You know that if we say that how Jiraiya was a missing nin and he has left Konoha on his own accord, then we might be able to convince the Emperor that how Jiraiya was not sent by them, and we might have a treaty in the future. And it seems that if the Lord Sannin cannot get us information in such time, then he's of no need to us anymore. As Tsunade was not liking the idea, but still, as Hokage, she had to agree with that. Konoha is the strongest, and it will remain the strongest. They will not have, you can say, Jiraiya put an end to that. She simply nodded at that. I agree with Danzo. At this, most of the Shinobi Council looked towards Tsunade, a bit surprised, and knowing that how Jiraiya was her old teammate, not expecting Tsunade to say that, but she simply said, well, Jiraiya will understand, don't worry about it. Once he gets released, he will come back to Konoha after me. After all, he has been doing that for years. Who cares about him, right? As most of them simply nodded at that, as then Tsunade said, alright, do we have the team composed, Danzo? As Danzo simply nodded at that, yeah, I'm going, along with elders, as well as Sasuke Uchiha, Kakashi Hatake, Hiyashi Hyuga, as well as, you can say, all the rookie nines, as Tsunade simply nodded at that. Yeah, the clan heir should go there. As then Hiyashi Hyuga stood up. Well, Lady Hokage, if I may propose, I want to, you can say, bring Hanabi with me, as well as since I have already put Hinata into the, you can say, cage bird seal into the branch family. Pretty proud of himself, actually, as he said, well, I want to bring her with me. We might be able to offer, you can say, her to the Empire so that they can take her into the, you can say, slavery, and then we might have an alliance with the Empire. As Tsunade thought it for some time, though she did not like that idea that much, but still, she agreed with that. After all, Hinata was a weakling, and she was the only person who stood up to her, telling her that how Naruto was not a demon, and she did not like that, and she even, you can say, promoted Hiyashi's idea of putting Hinata into the branch family so that she can know her place, and how Tsunade is the, you can say, Hokage, and she is nothing, and she also banned all, you can say, Ishiraku ramen in the Konoha and banished them as well. After all, they were, you can say, spreading some stories that how Naruto, how bad his life actually was when some of the travelers were coming into Konoha and eating Ichiraku ramen, so she banished them from Konoha as well. Though she also sent some hunter nins after them so that she can finally get rid of any supporters. Though she was pretty surprised when all the hunter nins were simply killed off and both Ryuchi and Ayame simply vanished from the face of this earth, and she was wondering how is that even possible, though she did not care anymore whatsoever. While on the other hand, you can say, Tsunade simply nodded at that. That girl is nothing. You're right, Hyuga. You may sell her into the Empire, and who knows, we might get, you can say, a treaty from them after the slavery of Hinata Hyuga. Sayashi nodded at that. Finally, he will get rid of that failure of a daughter, and Hanabi will be the true heir to Hyuga clan. He was not liking the idea that how Hinata was getting so strong, and when Hanabi, you can say, made fun of Naruto in front of Hinata beat Hanabi to the inch of her life into the spot, and Hiyashi did not like that. He always, you can say, wanted Hanabi to be the heir, as well as the elders did not like that. They always hated Hinata to begin with. So they finally decided to put her into the branch member even after she defeated Hanabi, saying that how she's stronger than her, though they did not care. And they did not like her to begin with, so they simply put the branch member seal on her, and she was really sad after that. Now, let us cut back as all the team was assembled as soon as Sasuke was smirking. I will show that Emperor the power of a true elite, just like me, and Uchiha elite. As Kakashi nodded at that, of course, Sasuke. Emperor may be strong, but compared to the Sharingan, he has nothing against us. As they simply nodded at that, Danzo was thinking how he's going to manipulate the Emperor to his will and how he's going to use him so that he can get whatever he wants, as he was smirking inwardly. How he's going to conquer the empire and then the whole Leaf village will be under his command, as he was smirking on that. As Tsunade said, alright, this is an S rank mission, you guys already know your deal. We have to get this treaty, otherwise Konoha is doomed. Even though we are stronger, we still need an alliance to show that how dominant we actually are. We have to win this war with a large margin, as all of them agree with that. Even after, you can say, so many villages were against them, they were still confident that they are the strongest, but still the calculated mind, they still need some alliance after all. And they smirk at that. After that, we will get what we want, as a smirk on that inwardly. Now, okay guys, here I will leave this part. In the next part, I will cover, you can say, the treaty, as well as, well, not so treaty, as well as Jiraiya's torture and things like that. And if, you can say, Minato and Kushina will side with Naruto, or they will side with Konoha, who knows? That will be told in the next part. So guys, if you guys are new, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. So yeah guys, hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, peace.